Hi, so today we're going to have a look at Scaler. So what I'm going to do at first is going to create a lo-fi song in Scaler. I'm going to show you how to do that. In addition to that, I'm going to show you how to use a different VST instrument with Scaler. This is something quite a few people have been asking me about, and I'm going to demonstrate an instrument that I think goes really well with lo-fi sounds. So let's get started straight away. So first thing we want to do is go into Scaler, and we're just going to type Scaler. I've only typed the first three letters in Ableton, and we're just going to pull out an instance of Scaler just anywhere on the screen, and it's a MIDI track which will have Scaler on it. So as soon as you pull that track out into Ableton, it's armed the track, and we can go ahead and start listening to all of the different options that are in Scaler for creating lo-fi. So I'm going to start with songs, and songs are really just genres. I'm going to select lo-fi, and we're going to go through some of these lo-fi options. We'll just start in the middle there. We'll select lo-fi 5. Now these are the 4 chords that Scaler has recommended for lo-fi 5 preset. So just right clicking on this, we'll just have autoplay on, as you can see here. Now, in order to route the Scaler MIDI to the contact instrument, what we need to do is firstly we're going to need to arm the contact instrument, and then under all ins we're going to select Scaler, and then we're going to select Scaler 2. So essentially Scaler is inserting its MIDI into the contact instrument. So now just open Scaler, and we're just going to play those chords by right clicking here, so they're playing on a loop. So they're playing now in both Scaler and in the Classicord contact instrument. Now what we're going to do is deactivate the Scaler track, and we're going to tweak the Classicord instrument. We'll just add a bit of reverb, a bit of age, so it sounds a bit older, stereo noise, and a bit of detuning. And we'll tweak the dry wet knob. Now we can also add a bit of reverb, not too much, we'll just reduce that a bit. So once we're happy with that, we can actually just go back into Scaler. We can just play those chords again, but this time we're going to click MIDI capture, and we're just going to capture the chords that are being played. And we're going to click stop. I'm going to drag those chords just by clicking on the drag button here, and then we don't need to route Scaler anymore. We've got what we need from Scaler basically here. Let's take a listen. Now what I've done is I've added a vocal and a drum, and so we've got a little bit of record scratching there. We've got some drums here, old school lo-fi, and some vocals. You can add a little bit of reverb on the vocals, not too much again. Let's just loop that like this. So once you're happy with that, go back to Scaler, take those same chords. We're just going to solo Scaler for now, and we can click on perform to see if we've got some performances that we could use. So let's just try it and listen to a few. We'll just loop this again. There's some that are really good with lo-fi, are things like Adagio, it's nice and slow, just Largo. You can try an arpeggio. So why don't we just do that? Well, why don't we just clear the MIDI capture? I'm going to stop this for now. I'm going to click on MIDI capture, and I'm just going to play these 4 chords straight out like that. Okay, that's captured that. I'm going to just drag these to a new MIDI track here. And we'll just duplicate that, and we're going to bring in another instance of Classicord, and this is the arpeggio track. Now let's just modify some of the settings here. We can also just go into the track itself and actually make manual edits. Now let's listen to them together. We'll just pan this a bit to the left. So once we've got all that going, what we can do now is just create another track. We're going to copy the details of this track into the track below. We're going to turn that into a bass track by literally selecting the lowest notes. And we just move this MIDI across to one of the previous bass tracks that we had set up. We just repeat that across. Now you also want to set up another bass track. So we're going to copy all of these notes to another bass track. And this one's got a bit of swing going on it. Now I know this is sounding a little bit less lo-fi. So you can also, remove elements if you want. And that's pretty much it. A little bit of a lo-fi song done really quickly using some elements of Scaler and using a really, really cool instrument called Classicord. I'm going to put a link to Classicord in the description because I think it sounds fantastic. If you've got any questions about this video, please let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thank you. Bye.